Panasonic AG-AC90. Is this 6-year-old camera still relevant today? So, coming in at a cool 1,000 to around £1,500 used, this is still a camera that is bought and sold regularly today. It's a camera that we've used a lot here at InGaff. It's done us proud, so we know a thing or two about it. It can record a full 1080 at 50 frames per second if you want to, and that's at a bit rate of 25 megabits per second. So the files aren't the largest, which means the quality isn't up to today's standards. That recording's done onto 2 SD card slots. They can be run in mirror mode or individually, so you can have up to 128 gig of SD cards in there recording for a full day. The lens is a 35mm equivalent at an f1.5, and there's a 12 times optical zoom on there. So some of the other features that the camera does have, when you've got it in full manual mode, you can control the iris or the f-stop of the lens, so you can control the light up to, I believe it's 12 decibels plus. Little flip out panels to control the volume of the dual XLR inputs which are here, which again is another great feature of the camera. The most useful thing I find with this camera when we still do use it is the focus assist, which for those that are used to using video cameras is a common feature. But if you've come from the DSLR world, you won't be used to having this. It's a lovely feature. It literally just adds a red hue around everything that's in focus, so at a glance you can make sure that you aren't soft in your shot. So let's look at the good bits of this Panasonic. As a run and gun, out and about camera, perhaps for live events, this really is your best friend. You can get away with a multitude of sins with sticking into full auto mode, relying on the great image stabilization that's built into the lenses. You can get away with a lot of handheld run and gun style shooting. It's got a 6-hour battery life as well, so in that scenario of being out of the studio all day, this really will help you out for a long day shooting. The flip out 3.5-inch LCD screen, the dual XLR inputs and the full manual controls that are available on the camera do still make it a relevant run and gun or a live shooter, even 6 years after it's released in 2018. That being said, it is a 6-year-old camera, so let's look at the bad points of it today. Autofocus. Its autofocus is atrocious. Now that's not saying that it can't grab focus, but if your lighting is slightly too contrasty or if there's a heavy reflection behind you, the camera will constantly hunt. So in a less than ideal environment, you can't use autofocus on this camera at all. The colors that you get out of it aren't great. They're not Canon C100 nice, they're not Blackmagic flat, they are okay at best. Also, the AVCHD files that you get out of the camera are only at 25 megabits per second, which means when you get into post-production, they don't color very well at all. So that less than ideal coloring that it does have doesn't respond well to being improved in Premiere or Final Cut Pro. So the Panasonic AG-AC90, it is 6 years old. It does have some shortcomings by today's standards. It doesn't have 4K. Its autofocus isn't great. The file sizes, they're not the best in order to get up to today's standards of coloring. But all that being said, it is still a useful camera. If you're a first timer just getting into videography, it's a good first choice. If you're looking for something that's a great B cam or something you can just pick up and run and gun with, which is how we still use it today, then it is a great choice, even at that £1,500 price point. So this has been my grab and go review of the Panasonic AG-AC90. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.